So, you finally did it. You said no. Maybe to a friend who always asks for a little too much, a family member who just loves to overstep, or that colleague who treats your desk like their personal dumping ground. For a split second, it felt like a victory, right? But now they're looking at you like you've just committed some unspeakable crime. They're angry, or they're guilt-tripping you, or maybe they're just giving you the silent treatment. Suddenly, your simple act of self-preservation feels like an act of aggression, and you're left wondering, wait, did I do something wrong? That feeling, that confusing, gut-wrenching blend of guilt and defiance, is exactly what we're going to unpack today. Because the backlash you're getting isn't random. It's a completely predictable psychological reaction. And luckily for us, the ancient philosophy of Stoicism gives us the tools to understand it, withstand it, and stand firm without losing our cool. This isn't just about the mechanics of saying no, it's about understanding the deep, invisible reasons why your boundaries make other people so uncomfortable, and how you can hold your ground with a calm, unshakable strength. Here's a little secret: when you set a boundary and someone gets angry, their reaction isn't actually about you. It's a confession. It's a confession that they were benefiting, maybe for a very long time, from you not having any boundaries at all. Their anger is a flashing neon sign telling you that the boundary wasn't just necessary, but probably long overdue. It's a flare, lighting up the exact spot where your kindness was being mistaken for compliance. And according to the Stoics, their reaction is not, and never will be, your problem to solve. To understand the explosion, you have to see the unspoken system you just dismantled. For weeks, months, or maybe even years, you've likely been the designated people pleaser. You were reliable, you were accommodating, you were the one who would drop everything to help. Whether you meant to or not, this created an unspoken agreement. The other person built an entire world of comfort and convenience around your predictability. They didn't have to manage their time well, because you'd always be there to pick up the slack. They didn't have to regulate their own emotions, because they could just dump them on you. Your boundary doesn't just disrupt their afternoon, it disrupts their reality. It's a direct challenge to their assumed, unrestricted access to your time and energy. Think of it like a vending machine that has always given out free snacks suddenly demanding $1. The person who got used to the free snacks doesn't just get mildly annoyed, they feel wronged. They kick the machine. They get mad. This is where the Stoics give us a game-changing shift in perspective. The problem isn't your boundary, it's their attachment to your unlimited compliance. It all comes down to the core Stoic principle, the dichotomy of control. This is the simple, life-altering idea of knowing the difference between what you can control and what you can't. So, what's in your control? Your choices, your actions, your decisions, like setting a boundary. And what's not in your control? Literally everything else, especially other people's thoughts, feelings, and reactions. When someone gets angry or tries to guilt-trip you, what you're really seeing is their struggle to manage their own inner world. Their reaction is coming from their attachments, their lack of self-regulation, and their frustrated desires. It's not a reflection of your character, it's a revelation of theirs. A Stoic sees this and refuses to get pulled into the storm. As Epictetus taught, it's not things that upset us, but our judgments about them. Their anger is just an external event. It's your judgment about their anger, the guilt, the self-doubt, that's actually causing you to suffer. The meltdowns that follow a new boundary aren't just random fits of rage. They fall into a few predictable categories: and we can diagnose each one with a Stoic lens. First, you have the fear of rejection. A lot of people are so used to your yes that they hear your no as a personal attack. It's not processed as "I can't right now," but as "I don't care about you anymore." This triggers their deep-seated fears of abandonment, which leads to defensive lines like "You've changed," or "I thought we were closer than that." A Stoic would say they are failing to manage their impressions. They're tying their entire sense of security to your actions, which is something they can't control. As Epictetus said, we should wish for things to happen as they do happen, not as we want them to. The drama says a lot more about their own emotional stability than it does about your boundary. Second, we see guilt induction and a sense of entitlement. This is the big one. This is when the person acts deeply wounded, implying that your boundary is a cruel, selfish act that has caused them immense suffering. After everything I've done for you, you can't do this one little thing for me. It's a direct assault on your empathy. For years, your compliance has been their comfort, and your no forces them to face their own responsibilities. Their pushback, the arguments, the passive aggression, is just a desperate scramble to put things back the way they were. The Stoics would call this a classic case of entitlement. They feel they have a right to your energy, and they're furious about losing that perceived right. Their feelings are not your job to manage. Finally, there's testing and escalation. Sometimes, a person will seem to accept your boundary, only to casually ignore it a week later. This isn't forgetfulness, it's a test. They're probing your defenses to see if you were serious. They'll ask for the same favor, or push just a little past the line you drew, to see if you'll actually enforce it. If you cave, you've just taught them that your boundaries are merely suggestions. If you stand firm, they might escalate and get even more demanding. This is when you channel Marcus Aurelius: if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Their persistence is a sign of their poor self-mastery, not a flaw in your boundary. You are not required to enter into endless negotiations over your own well-being. Okay, understanding the theory is one thing, but what do you actually do in the heat of the moment? Stoicism is all about practical, real-world action. Let's walk through a few common scenarios. Scenario 1, the judgmental family member. Picture it: a relative who loves to make critical comments about your life choices at every family gathering. The knee-jerk reaction is to either argue back, creating a scene, or to just sit there and silently fume, which lets resentment build. The Stoic response is calm and firm. The first time it happens, you state your boundary clearly and without any emotional charge. I'm not discussing this with you. You aren't asking for their permission. You're stating a fact. If they push past that, you don't get louder. You exercise the one thing you have ultimate control over, your presence. You calmly stand up and leave the room. No drama. You just remove yourself from the equation. That action communicates your boundary far more powerfully than any argument ever could. You're practicing the dichotomy of control. You can't control their words, but you can control whether you stick around to hear them. Scenario 2, the friend who needs constant contact. You have a friend who texts and calls non-stop, expects instant replies, and gets personally offended if you need time alone. The typical, people-pleasing response is to fall all over yourself apologizing. "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I've just been swamped, things are crazy." This kind of reply just invites more intrusion because it suggests they have a right to an explanation in the first place. The Stoic response is clear, kind, and concise. A simple, "I'm taking some time for myself and won't be replying as quickly," is enough. No more justification is needed. If they push back with, "Why? Is everything okay?" you don't have to get defensive. You can simply repeat a version of your boundary. "I appreciate you checking in, but like I said, I'm just taking some quiet time for myself." Your time is your own. As Marcus Aurelius noted, you have the power to draw your own lines. You aren't being mean, you're being clear. Scenario 3, the overwhelming workload. Your boss or a colleague is constantly dropping urgent tasks on your plate, knowing you're the one who will stay late to get it all done. The non-Stoic reaction is to just say yes on impulse, which only leads to burnout and resentment. The Stoic approach is to master the pause. That little space before you answer is where you reclaim your power. Instead of an immediate yes, you say, "Let me check my current priorities and I'll get back to you." In that moment, you give yourself the gift of rational assessment. Then, you can come back with a measured and honest answer. "Given my current deadlines for X and Y, I can't take this on right now. This isn't being unhelpful, it's about honoring your existing commitments." The Stoics called this living with intention, remembering memento mori, your time is finite, and it should be spent wisely. If these Stoic ideas are helping you find the courage to protect your peace of mind, go ahead and subscribe and click the notification bell. On this channel, we're all about using practical philosophy for modern problems. And I really want to hear from you. Drop a comment below. What's the hardest boundary you've had to set, and what did that feel like? The biggest takeaway here is a liberating truth: their reaction is not your responsibility. Setting a boundary is a rational act of self-preservation and respect. The emotional tidal wave you might get in return isn't proof that you did something wrong, it's proof that the boundary was absolutely necessary. It's a sign that an unbalanced relationship has just had a moment of reckoning. The guilt you feel. That's often just an old habit, a ghost from a time when you were taught your worth was tied to how useful you were to other people. The Stoics would tell us to replace that guilt with a quiet sense of gratitude for finally taking care of yourself. In the beginning, holding those boundaries is going to feel uncomfortable. It might create friction. You may even lose some relationships that were built on the shaky foundation of your compliance. But listen, healthy people will respect your boundaries. Maybe they'll be surprised at first, but they will respect them. Unhealthy people will punish you for them. And in that way, your boundary becomes the most effective filter you will ever have. This journey isn't about becoming cold or selfish. It's about becoming the calm, unshakable master of your own inner world. It's about understanding that you can't control how others act, but you can always control how you respond. Their emotions are theirs to manage. Your peace is yours to protect. As you practice this, you will slowly transform. You'll go from being someone tossed around by the demands of others to a person who stands firm in their own integrity. You'll learn that real freedom isn't about getting everyone to like you. It's about not needing them to. Because as Epictetus put it, no man is free who is not master of himself.